Hi, I'm Mike with the Daily BM. On this episode, we discuss THC, CBD, CBN, and CBG, and the effects on the body. We also discuss the importance of fixing your lifestyle versus pharmaceutical alternatives. Remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
Hey, good morning, fuckers. It's another day at the Daily BM. I got Michael in the house.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to this episode with Brad and myself. I'm very excited to be here, as you can tell by the enthusiasm in my voice.
It's a lot better. I like it. You're now awake, ready to get the day rolling, huh?
I'm always awake. That's my problem. I don't get enough sleep these days.
Oh, yeah?
That's what my brain keeps telling me. It's like, you need more sleep, more rest.
You sleep 12 hours a day.
No, I don't. Who said I sleep 12 hours a day? That's bullshit. Fucking liars.
Your status does.
No, that's because I'm asleep at the wheel. Not actually physically asleep.
Sleep is so important, man. And it's like, it's the one area in my life that I cannot seem to get a grip of.
Right.
At all. It's like, I'm lucky if I get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Every day.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too. And I gotta fix it.
And the only time I ever truly get great sleep, which I'm out of, but is when I have like a THC gummy.
That actually works perfect because that rolls right into our trending Thursday topic of THC, CBD, and CBG.
Yeah, and when I started taking the THC stuff, I didn't even think about, CBD because, CBD has a bunch of anti-inflammatory type effects and things of that nature, but I was basically using it just for the sleep mechanism to help me relax because, I do have, some anxiety, and my brain never wants to shut off. I'm always
Shocking.
I know, right? Just like my mouth, my brain doesn't want to shut off. So I'm sitting there with my wheels always turning as I'm laying in bed. And, I tried the exercises, clearing my head. The problem is while I'm clearing my head, more shit pops into my head. And so I can't seem to get to work. So, the beautiful thing about derived products of marijuana is that they work. I honestly believe they work. But I did not know about CBG.
Right.
And there might be some listeners out there that don't know the difference between all three. Can you kind of like break it down? I mean, because you have a license card, right?
Yes.
From what I understand.
So, a couple of months ago, I was experiencing a lot of nerve pain, and it was very severe. And I was taking lots of gabapentin and muscle relaxers and a bunch of other narcotics that were prescribed, and none of it was working. And I think it was you that recommended I just try a gummy.
Yeah, it was me.
And so I decided, to go get my card and give it a shot because it's kind of at wit's end. I was kind of like couldn't find any solutions. And at that time, I'd been going for like, I don't know, 30, 45 days on like a couple hours of sleep a night, if that. And it was very restless. And I remember taking my first gummy, and it was a THC CBN blend. And I got the best night's sleep that I had in a long time. And I woke up feeling a little bit better the next day. And that trend continued. I'd only take it, about an hour before I go to bed, and I would sleep 8 hours, wake up feeling great, no side effects, no high, no after effects. And slowly but surely, that combined with the physical therapy, my injury healed, and now I feel 100% again. So there's so far that I know of. I mean, there might be more strands, but the three that I'm familiar with is CBN, CBD, and CBG. CBD being the most common. CBD is, mostly renowned for its, anti-inflammatory, and immunity condition related benefits. A lot of people take CBD if they've have any type of immunodeficiency because it helps regulate their system. Plus, it's also good at regulating your mood. If you have mood disorders, it kind of can balance you out. Now, CBG is the newest, and what's interesting about it is it binds with the same receptors as THC, so it can potentially address issues that pertain to the nervous system, and glaucoma, migraines, muscle soreness, and it can also help induce an appetite. So if you have people that are under eating, it can help them develop an appetite to eat food. And the great thing is that uh it's not addictive, and it also does not produce a high like THC does. So you get the benefits um without really any having major drawbacks on the CBG. So I'm kind of interested in checking that out um in the near future to see how that affects the body. When I took the CBN affects the neural system. Is supposed to help a lot with sleep, like it makes you a lot more tired and it
Mhm.
allows you to calm down and it brings your anxiety levels down. So I had a lot of success taking the CBN. Um, right now, if I need, I normally take just a THC CBD blend uh, in an indica strand, and it allows me to get really good sleep, and it cuts down on inflammation and and anxiety, so it allows you to really rest. So I've had a lot of success with those so
You
far.
know, back in my my teen years, and as Mike would say, in the 1920s. But back in my teen years, I experienced obviously marijuana with recreational use. I did a lot of THC, because that's all you had. You were smoking the plant. There's none of this derived product of anything. And man, how it has come a long way, because it was
Yeah.
so frowned upon. Marijuana from the 50s all the way up through to current day
Oh, so the
until
Jim Crow laws, because that's what really made demonized marijuana, because it was more of a racist situation as opposed to an actual medical standpoint situation. A lot of minorities used marijuana because, let's face it, it grows fast. It's easy to cultivate, um, and it has a lot of positive effects on the body. And it was real easy for that to become, a drug to incarcerate minorities. If you go through the history, you can see it. You can see that that's the main reason that it was villainized. And now, fast forward, we're finally starting to, you know, realize that, from hundreds and hundreds of years, the medicinal properties that this plant had. And also, not only that, like, how much, hemp is stronger than cotton. It grows better. It's not as water um, heavy to grow. So there's so many positives to it that we're just now starting to like open our eyes to. And I was one of them. I was very anti marijuana in the
yes, you
beginning,
were for years.
um, because it was, everybody was told it was a gateway drug. It's like you puff a joint, and then the next thing you know, you're doing an 8 ball, and taking ketamine, and then you're shooting crack, and
And then you're
heroin,
selling your
and
sister for money to recall the days. I've seen it
yeah.
all.
And then you're doing meth, and like your hair falls out, and then you're doing bath salts, and you're eating people on the bridge. I mean, and it all started because
What's
because
wrong
all
with
'cause you
bath
took
salts? No, just kidding.
it's all 'cause you took a little puff of marijuana, but it's uh it's definitely changed my mind, going through that experience and actually seeing the benefits of it firsthand. And I can tell you, I've got THC CBD infused lotion and cream, and utilizing that on an injury, a sore muscle, a joint pain, it alleviates the pain within minutes. Whereas like BioFreeze or Deep Blue or Cryoderm, it feels okay for a minute, but it doesn't really do anything as far as, other than that couple of minutes of like tingling sensation. Whereas the CBD THC really gets in there and reduces that inflammation, and makes you feel a lot better. So
Basically what you're saying in a nutshell is the long-term effect is of the drug itself, because it is, I mean,
yeah.
it is a drug. So the reality is I hate using that word because it's such the healthy benefits of it too.
Well, the
Uh,
reality is everything. Okay, so if you stop and think about it, everything that we ingest is really a drug. Food's a drug. Sugar, it's a drug, because you can get addicted to sugar. You can get a high from sugar. You get an energy high, a spike. You can crash. So anything that you eat can be technically a drug. because it does affect your body one way or the other. You eat stuff that's high in antioxidants, it's going to help you, live a healthier, longer life. If you eat a lot of processed junk food, you're going to have a shorter life. So pretty much, if you think all foods are drugs, anything you ingest, that's what it is. So I don't know if it's really that negative a connotation, because let food be your medicine. And
Yeah.
marijuana, it's like, natural. It comes from the ground. There's not a lot of processing involved in it. Um, I think the more you process and refine something, the more dangerous it can become, has a potential to become. Look at the coca plant. People used to chew on the coca plant to cure toothaches, headaches, migraines, everything else, and it wasn't until they started heavily refining it that it became cocaine, and then it became a problem.
Right.
I mean, for
Now you're putting the booger sugar up your nose.
yeah, for hundreds of years, people were chewing on coca plants and never having, those type of issues, because you just couldn't physically ingest enough to produce that type of effect. Um, so I don't know, man. If it's in nature, it's probably okay for you, and how I'm starting to feel about things.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm kind of with you on this one because I think that like when you it kind of goes back to what Jim's dad said in American Pie to him.
yeah,
He's like, how many times have I told you? If it grows out of the ground, it's probably safe. And if
yeah,
not, then blah blah blah. So
yeah,
I I believe the less you process, the better you are. So
right,
when people use now, don't get me wrong. Then you can have the statement if you're uh, smoking marijuana, for instance, you're putting damage in your lungs because you
right,
still have to inhale that. You're having a burning, it changes the composition of the plant.
right,
Whether versus eating it, you know.
yeah,
Um, so, yeah, I'm right there
and
with you on this.
and there are some studies that show under the age of 25 that marijuana does change your brain chemistry and can change your brain development. Um, so it can affect your personality and your brain formation. So, maybe it's something that you hold off until you're older than 25. And I think it comes down to intent again. If you're using it to escape reality, then you need to work on getting a better reality. Um,
Well put, man.
yeah, if you're using it to, overcome illness, or, fight, you know, arthritis or aging, things of that nature, or just to have a better, more holistic life, then I think it's okay for you. And I know people can it's we're in America, so people can disagree, but that's just my thought on it. Like, try to fix the problem and not band-aid it to the best of your ability, and then use the tools that you have available to supplement life and make it better.
Yeah, you made a great point because it's like everything in moderation.
Yeah.
So if you're taking cannabis, you don't if you're taking it, I mean, unless you have like a serious chronic problem where the doctor says,
Yeah.
hey, you need this every day or else you're
Yeah.
gonna hurt every other day. But I mean, if you're taking things in moderation, uh, and not in that level of, oh, I need to take this every day. You don't need to take it every day. You know,
Yeah, yeah, what I meant by that, let me clarify
yeah,
that just a little
clarify a little
bit.
bit.
So, what I mean is like, you have like an anxiety disorder, and marijuana helps you calm and relax. That's okay, but if you're just taking the high because you're trying to escape the shittiness of your reality, like, you're not putting in the work, like, to get better your life, and you're just doing marijuana because you don't want to feel the pain of failure, that's not okay. Like, it's not it shouldn't be used for that. Like, you should work towards your goals and stuff. But, like, like, for instance, in our case, I take it so it puts off the arthritis and the joint pain in my body, so that way I can work out and I can live a full life. I'm not taking it because I want to sit and get high, and I don't want to confront that I'm aging and I've got arthritis and I got all these pains and aches. Like, I'm not taking it to run away from my problem. I'm taking it so I can live the quality of life I want to live without being on major pharmaceuticals, you know, and having those issues.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't take it every night to sleep because
Right.
I've realized that I can take it one day, or one evening, and I'm actually pretty good for another day or two before I have to take it again, and I
Yeah.
usually sleep well. Now, I've also noticed too on the flip coin of that as I've increased my exercise, my activity levels have gone up, my sleep patterns have gotten better too. So I
Yeah.
think that like again, everything in moderation. If you're doing you're taking care of your body, you get, and you're taking care of your mind. And then you can also, if you need a sleeping aid of something like that to get you through, I still feel like it's the better choice than a true narcotic. You know, uh, the problem is that I felt like it was kind of held back a little bit too, because of the fact that money by pharmaceutical. I mean, I know I'm going off here a little bit, but
No, I was gonna
pharmaceutical.
touch. I was gonna touch my conspiracy theory on that. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're
So
taking it there,
my
so you can look like the weirdo
Yeah, I'm the weirdo. Well, I'm the weirdo anyway, but
for a
compared to
change.
you, no, it's usually me, not you. But it's me, not you.
Yeah,
But that being said, I really truly believe the pharmaceutical companies had it out for marijuana from the beginning. Once they realized they can make $200 a pill off of this narcotic and have shittier results and keep
yeah,
you buying this product longer versus something that remedy gives you a remedy for
yeah.
longer effects, that was pretty much you had to go get it,
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
think about it. If you can grow marijuana in your backyard if you live in the
mhm,
right temperature zone, and
yep,
if you don't, you can grow it in your house really easily. Like a single plant can produce enough for you to have the medicinal benefits of it, which cost you virtually nothing. I mean, it's just water and some fertilizer and keeping
mhm,
the plants alive versus being dependent on a pharmaceutical company to provide you with the pill that you're paying top dollar for just to keep
mhm,
you inside the cycle. That's not really doing anything to help other than just masking the problem?
right.
So yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I think that I do believe that the problem is that pharmaceutical companies don't want that information out because it hurts their business model. Which is how I feel about a lot of modern medicine. I feel they try to get you in the system and keep you in the system. It's not let me solve your problem. It's let me put a band-aid on it and push you down the road so that way you can keep being recycled into the system. So I have longevity of profitability with you. It's not, it's like, you see okay, so they put people on insulin and instead of prescribing a healthy lifestyle, like, you know, and I'm not talking about like type 1 diabetes where you're born with it. That's different.
Right.
I'm talking about type 2, like late onset diabetes that's based pretty much solely on your diet and exercise level. Instead of, you know, saying, okay, listen, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prescribe you a workout plan and I'm gonna prescribe you a diet plan and put you a nutritionist. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna put you on insulin. They don't really like help you. At least they haven't in my case, like, and no, and I'm not
Right.
diabetic. At one point I was pre-diabetic. I was, my blood sugar came in like 101, which was 1 point over normal, and they said, "Oh, that's pre-diabetes." Hey, just if you keep on the path you're going on, you're gonna be a diabetic. But they really didn't offer any help as like how to get off the path. It's just like, hey man, go figure it out. There's resources out there, and there's just so much bad information out there that it's hard to find the right stuff. But I did, and now my sugar was like 79 last time, which was perfect. So
You know, it triggered my
sorry.
brain to think of this right here, and we
Yeah,
can start. We can head out a little early, but here's the thing.
yeah,
I look at pharmaceutical companies as they want you to be a subscriber.
100%.
They want you to be a subscriber so they can keep you on the hook at $100 a month or whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yep.
so they're a subscription service. That's probably the best way to explain
Yep.
them. Uh, but you know, guys, I can tell you, do your research a little bit on the effects of cannabis, THC, CBD, CBG, which I need to
Yep.
do a little more research on the CBG side because it's really trending now as
Mhm.
well, as a less potent alternative to CBD, even. So
Right.
that might be good for a sleeping thing versus having something potent. Although, I've tried the CBD THC blends. Might be kind of nice just to do a CBD CBG blend. You never know.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Maybe THC, CBG, I think.
yeah, I don't think they do the 2 together, right? It's either one or the
Mm.
other,
Yeah.
with the THC level if you or
Yeah.
straight just that particular, run. I don't know. I have to educate myself a little bit more on it because
Yeah.
I find it very interesting because I've been really struggling with my sleep patterns. So,
Right.
you know, hey, it is what it is. Um, so, you wanna do any final thoughts before we get out of here?
My only final thought is do some research into natural remedies. Obviously don't shy away from mainstream medicine, but fix your lifestyle first. If you fix your lifestyle, then you won't have to worry about a lot of this stuff because it won't affect you. So, and teach your kids, like if you have kids, teach them early to manage their lifestyle, get plenty of exercise. This weekend, I was surprised this past weekend, I was surprised to learn that the best thing that you can do moving into later life is a lot of core and squat exercises because keeping a strong core and strong legs prevents you from falling down, because when you're older, you fall down, you break something, you lose mobility. When you lose mobility, you gain weight, and you gain weight, you start to die. And I was kind of shocked on that because I never thought about that. I was never like, oh man, this is why it's important to do squats and why it's important to do core exercises, because that keeps you mobile later in life. Like if you want to walk later in life, you need to do squats and, you know, core exercises now to keep that strength and keep the ability to keep moving. So that's kind of the only final thought I'd leave with people.
All right, well, keep moving, guys. Just like Michael said here.
Yep.
Don't forget, head over to thedailybm.com where you can follow us on all of our socials. You can also subscribe on YouTube and on Rumble. We're over there as well. And don't forget, head over to masondangerco.com where you can use the promo code DailyBM, and that will give you 20% off all your items on the card. So with that, we're going to catch you guys again, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Have a good one.
Deuces.